Hello and welcome to Indus News, coming to you from our studios in Lahore. I'm Joseph Hyatt, and these are the top stories. The United Nations has said a record number of Afghan civilians were killed last year due to stepped-up US-led airstrikes and more suicide bombings. In its report, the UN assistance mission in Afghanistan said that 3,804 civilians, including 927 children, were killed in 2018. Meanwhile, at least 44 Taliban fighters, Afghan soldiers and civilians have been killed in the latest fighting across Afghanistan. The Afghan Defense Ministry said that 38 Taliban fighters were killed in US-led airstrikes and ground operations in 5 provinces. The Taliban said that 3 Afghan soldiers were killed in northeastern Takhar province, while 3 civilians were killed in coalition air raids in eastern Paktika province. Well, meanwhile, Pakistan has said that peace in Afghanistan is a shared responsibility of all stakeholders. In an interview, Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi said that sustainable peace in Afghanistan is not the sole responsibility of Pakistan. He said that the US and Afghan government, along with all regional players, would have to play their role for peace in Afghanistan. Well, next, another youth has been martyred by the Indian occupation forces in southern occupied Kashmir. The Indian forces martyred the Kashmiri youth in a joint cordon and search operation in Kulgam district. Well, meanwhile, a general strike is being observed against mass arrests, killings and India's attempts to change the demography of occupied Kashmir. Police have arrested freedom struggle leaders, including Yasin Malik, and over 200 Jamaat-e-Islami activists to prevent anti-India protests. Well, over to India, where at least 46 more workers have died after drinking toxic liquor in northeastern Assam state, taking the death toll to 150. State Health Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said that some 200 others are still hospitalised. The incident comes just 2 weeks after more than 100 people died from drinking tainted liquor in northern India. In another development, Pope Francis has called for an all-out battle against the sexual abuse of minors by the clergy. Addressing the concluding session of a conference on sexual abuse at the Vatican, Francis vowed to spare no effort to bring abusers to justice. Earlier, Archbishop Mark Coleridge said that the Catholic Church has become its own worst enemy for concealing sexual abuse. And South America, where at least 4 people have been killed and 200 others wounded during an anti-government protest in Venezuela. Security forces have arrested 51 protesters during demonstrations held for bringing in aid at the Colombian border. In a tweet, US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo condemned the attacks on civilians, which he blamed on President Nicolas Maduro. Earlier, Maduro threatened to cut diplomatic and political ties with Colombia for using its territory against Venezuela. Well, that's you up to date this hour, but be sure to keep us in your social media timeline for the latest updates. That's the headlines this hour.